discussion on that and also on delaying the closing of the RFP.
Okay. Councilman?
I would like to add about the sick leave in the personnel policy, just touch base on where we're at with that. Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, moving on smartly. Jack, you're up for the comprehensive plan amendment.
All right.
Oh, and while you're setting up, sorry, I have a reminder that council photos will be taken next week, beginning at 5:30. So, Monday here. What's that?
Next Monday?
Yes. Yep, so 5:30 is, I'm guessing 6:30. So, come all decked out if you choose.
Dress smartly.
Yeah. Leash in the way up. Thank you. Jack, take it away.
Council members, now I have a little slide presentation for you tonight. And we'll start out to give you some background of how we got to this point, with a summary of the changes and our recommendation. And I might get our recommendations changed a little bit since we've received a recent email from the state between the time I put together the agenda bill tonight. To start off with, that we received a grant from the Department of Commerce in early January 2014 for those comprehensive plan changes. As part of those grants, those changes were supposed to be completed in 2014, but based upon a variety of different factors, they cannot be completed in 2014. We requested a change to the scope of the grant, which was approved in 2014, and that resulted in providing deliverables to the state, which would include revisions to Chapter 3, the natural environment, revisions to Chapter 8, transportation, and revised critical areas map for the city. The one thing that was cut out, well, there's a couple items that were cut out of the original grant, was the update to the capital facilities chapter, and also a complete revision and update to our critical areas regulations. I requested that they be cut out because of the amount of time that would take to complete the chapter and actually really the thing is critical areas regulations, getting through those, because those are pretty controversial regulations. And I would want a lot more public comment than what we could have gotten between the time we received the approval of the revised grant in late 2014. The purpose for the revised grant was to expand the monies that were provided as part of the grant before June of this year. And they had to really be expanded before the end of March, so that we could get our comprehensive plan into the state for their review. The proposed revisions were reviewed by the Planning Commission. They had 3 separate meetings, with the third meeting on March 24th, which was a public hearing, and we received a number of comments. So actually we received comments from 5 different agencies or organizations. That included the American Rivers Organization, the Puyallup River Watershed Council, Puyallup Tribe, the Oklahoma Audubon Society, and the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe. The comments, for the most part, were positive in terms of the comprehensive plan revisions being proposed. The Muckleshoots, they had some additional comments and questions, and those were provided in your packet for the presentation tonight, and we can read you those at your leisure. Just a quick summary of what we did in Chapter 3, Natural Environment. The chapter was reformatted to single column format to make it easier to read, and also to make it easier to make copies of or take excerpts out of the documents should we need to do that for other documents. It removes goal NE2, which was redundant, the redundant goal. It removes policy NE58, which is redundant. We didn't need to have them in there. It adds new policies regarding best available science and volcanic hazard evacuation routes, which we need to designate here since we are in the Lahar Hazard area. It added a biodiversity section to the environmental elements, including goals and policies. And as part of that, it adopts the Lower White River Biodiversity Management Stewardship Plan by reference as part of the national environment element as background information and information and methodologies to provide for biodiversity. Then it also provides for greater detail regarding existing conditions, provides greater detail for discussion points in the policy. If you take a look at the policy, the idea is for each policy and a discussion statement to provide the background why we need to have that policy. And also provide updates that are background information for the natural environment. What was added to the plan, we have a new soils map that's added to the plan. This is a combination of the King County and Pierce County soils maps. We added a new creek stream map in there that provides the location of the city streams as typed by the Department of Natural Resources, and whether they're type F or NP or N stream, and with the buffer setbacks that are required for those streams within the city as based on our current code. One thing we're put on the map to change the perception. One creek that's in the city is called Milwaukee Ditch right now, but it is actually a heavily relocated creek over time. Found in the 1896 USGS map that shows that creek in the city. So it's been relocated, so we're changing all our maps to say creek to try to get that perception of that water body to the point where people think about preserving it, not throwing junk in it versus a ditch where people have different connotations with a ditch. We also have a new creek that's now being designated, that's been there for a while, but it's coming off the West Hill at northeast on 3rd Avenue. So there's a creek coming down the hillside too, there that's showing up on this map. So those two are best of our knowledge are the creeks and streams in the city and the typing that they have at this point in time. We also put in a new wellhead protection map to let people know what the wellhead protection is for 2 wells, the 1, 5, and 10 year, and also the 6-month contamination, we would say contamination cycle if the groundwater was contaminated at a certain point. What this does is it provides us some more information and some more policies to implement zoning regulations that would, say, for example, in the 6-month time zone, prohibit type of uses that could potentially spill hazardous materials into the groundwater that could potentially contaminate our wells. Now, these ones are just circles for now because the in-depth study hasn't been done exactly where that aquifer is, so this is just kind of a standard circular designation for wellhead protection. And that's something we do have to show in our zoning code for wellhead protection. Another item that was provided is a new Lahar Hazard Map to show where that is within the city. We are on top of Lahars from 5 and 1,000 years ago. The cycle, depending on which color you look at, is between 5 and 1,000 years, or probably about 500 years on one of the cycles. So we want to make sure people know where they're located at, where that area is in the city. And also, we have a policy that outlines where potential volcanic hazard evacuation routes would be.
Is this showing there's actually lower Lahar hazard in the existing riverbanks than there is next to it?
In this case, it does, yes. I think the idea is that the river, where the river is, it's kind of down. Well, in some places it's down cutting, so the elevation is different. So, but according to the USGS mapping and also their documents that we have those available, if you're interested in looking at them, it's about 95% of all businesses and residents are within the Lahar Hazard area in the city. The other thing that will be provided is an update critical areas map, including an update of all our wetlands. And that, we hired a wetlands biologist to do the work, which was completed at the end of March of this year, and have it mapped. This is the actual map without the critical area, so you can see this is the 2015 wetland inventory map. And this is one of the deliverables that will be provided, that we have provided to the Department of Commerce. So that is a summary for the natural environment. For transportation, again, that was reformatted to a single column. It removes a number of policies or goals that were redundant. Removes a number of policies also that were redundant. We provided discussion statements for the policies. We updated our existing roadway level of service tables. Our projected tables are now go out to 2025 and 2035 for LOS levels. Plug in or find another power source.
Just plug in, don't you? I don't see it. We have that plugged in.
Uh-oh, somebody didn't plug that in. Now, this might be cut shorter.
I have a plug. Go get it. I'll get you a plug.
Okay, background data has
Here you go.
been updated. And a new table counts map, which is map 83 provided, which is keyed into the tables 8.2, 8.3, and 8.4. And what it is you can see the lettering in there, the next keyed into the lettering of the table, so that we just have one map to show where the different traffic counts are for the current LOS levels for 2025 and 2035. So it's trying to simplify the map somewhat. Yeah, where's
It's back over here.
no, yeah, it's way back.
Oh, wait a minute, you're gonna unplug the camera?
Yeah, briefly.
Well, let me